Marcus Rivera stared at the money. $10,000. Cash. $100 bills stacked neatly on the table in the private dining room. The billionaire who'd been sitting there was gone. The restaurant was closing. Everyone had left. Marcus was alone. Completely alone. With more money than he'd seen in 3 years. More money than his mother needed for surgery. More money than he owed in back rent. More money than would change everything. His hands shook. He could take it. Nobody would know. The cameras in the main dining room didn't reach here. The private rooms were for discretion, for privacy, for secrets. He could slip it into his apron, walk out, pay for his mother's surgery tomorrow, catch up on rent, maybe even quit one of his 3 jobs. Nobody would ever know. Marcus closed his eyes, thought about his mother, about the pain she was in, about the surgery she needed that insurance wouldn't cover. $8,000. That's what the hospital wanted. Cash, up front, or she'd have to wait. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe forever. He had $10,000 in front of him. Right now, all he had to do was take it. But Marcus Rivera wasn't a thief. Never had been, even when he'd lost everything. Even when Wall Street had chewed him up and spit him out. Even when he'd gone from analyst to busboy, from penthouse to basement apartment, from 6 figures to minimum wage. He'd never stolen, never cheated, never compromised who he was, and he wasn't starting now. What Marcus didn't know yet was that the billionaire who'd left that money was watching, had been watching the whole time, testing, searching, looking for someone with character, someone with integrity, someone worth investing in. And in 60 seconds, Marcus was going to make a choice that would change his life forever. 3 years earlier, Marcus Rivera sat in his office on the 42nd floor of Goldman Sachs, 25 years old, financial analyst, making $200,000 a year, bonuses, stock options, the American dream. He'd grown up poor, South Bronx, single mother, public schools, but he was smart, really smart, full scholarship to NYU, graduated top of his class, recruited by Goldman, climbed fast, lived in a penthouse in Tribeca, drove a BMW, wore suits that cost more than his mother's monthly rent. He'd made it, escaped, won. Then 2008 happened. The financial crisis. Lehman Brothers collapsed. The market crashed. Goldman laid off 40% of their workforce. Marcus was one of them. "It's not personal," his boss said. "We're cutting everyone under 3 years. You're talented. You'll land somewhere." He didn't land somewhere. Nobody was hiring. The entire industry was collapsing. Every bank, every firm, every opportunity. Marcus sent out 200 resumes, got 3 interviews, 0 offers. His savings ran out, stopped paying rent on the penthouse, moved in with his mother, back to the Bronx, back to the neighborhood he'd escaped, back to square one. He took any job he could find. Delivery driver, warehouse worker, eventually busboy at Marchand, a fancy French restaurant in Manhattan, the same restaurant where he used to take clients, where he used to order $100 steaks. Now he was clearing tables, washing dishes, making $11 an hour. The humiliation was crushing, but he had no choice. His mother got sick. Degenerative disc disease, needed surgery, $8,000. Insurance denied it, called it elective, not life-threatening, just quality of life, just constant pain, just suffering. Marcus needed $8,000. On his busboy salary, that would take a year, maybe more. His mother didn't have a year, so he worked 3 jobs, busboy at night, warehouse in the morning, weekend Uber driving, slept 4 hours, lived on coffee and desperation, saved every penny. 3 years later, he had $6,000. Almost there, almost enough. Then his car broke down. Transmission, $3,000 to fix. Without the car, he couldn't do Uber, couldn't make the extra money, couldn't save. He was stuck, desperate, running out of options, running out of time. The night it happened started like any other. Marcus arrived at Marchand at 5 p.m., changed into his uniform, black pants, white shirt, black vest, invisible. That was the goal. Be invisible. Don't draw attention. Don't remind the wealthy diners that people like him existed. Clear the tables. Refill the water. Disappear. The manager, Gerald, was his usual condescending self. Marcus, table 12 needs water. Move faster. These people don't have all night. Yes, sir. And when you're done, the private dining room needs to be set. Mr. Harrington is coming. Very important client. Everything perfect. Understand? Yes, sir. Robert Harrington. Marcus knew the name. Everyone did. Real estate billionaire, self-made, started with nothing, built an empire, worth $4 billion, owned half of Manhattan. He was dining alone tonight. Private room. That was unusual. Billionaires didn't usually dine alone. They had assistants, associates, sycophants. But Harrington requested privacy. No one in the room except the server. And when the server left, complete solitude. Marcus set up the private dining room. Linen tablecloth, crystal glasses, silver cutlery, fresh flowers. Perfect. Harrington arrived at 7. Older man, late 60s, expensive suit, but not showy, quality, understated. He nodded at Marcus. Actually made eye contact. Rare for the wealthy. Good evening, sir. Can I get you anything? Just water. I'll order when the server comes. Of course. Marcus left. Went back to his other duties. Clearing tables, washing dishes, invisible. At 9:30, Harrington's server came out. He's done. Left cash on the table. Don't touch anything. He wants privacy when he leaves. Understood. Privacy. That meant Marcus would have to clean the room after Harrington left. Standard procedure. The restaurant closed at 10. By 9:45, everyone was gone. Staff, managers, servers, just Marcus left, doing final cleanup, washing the last dishes, getting ready to leave. He checked the private dining room. Harrington was gone, left through the back exit, private, discreet. The table was clean, mostly napkin folded, glass empty, and in the center of the table, a stack of cash. Marcus walked closer, counted. $100 bills, $10,000, left on the table, forgotten, impossible. Nobody forgets $10,000. A tip? Insane. Nobody tips that much. A test? Marcus's mind raced. This was deliberate. Had to be. But why? And what was he supposed to do? He stood there, staring, thinking, calculating. $10,000. His mother needed $8,000 for surgery. He owed $2,000 in back rent. That was exactly $10,000. Exactly what he needed. Exactly what would solve every problem. It was sitting there, waiting. All he had to do was take it. Nobody knew it was here. Harrington was gone. The servers were gone. The cameras didn't reach this room. He could take it, walk out. His shift was over. Nobody would question him leaving. He'd go home, pay for the surgery tomorrow, catch up on rent. Finally, breathe. His hand reached out, touched the money. It was real, crisp, new bills. He picked up the stack, felt the weight. $10,000, heavy, significant, life-changing. His mother's face flashed in his mind, the way she winced when she moved, the way she tried to hide the pain, the way she told him she was fine when she wasn't. $8,000 would fix that, would give her her life back, would end the suffering. All he had to do was take it. But then another face flashed. His own. 3 years ago. In that Goldman Sachs office, before the crash, when he was somebody, when he had integrity, when he believed in something, when his mother was proud of him. Not because of the money, but because of who he was, because he'd earned everything honestly, because he'd never compromised, because he was better than the people who'd caused the crash, the people who'd cheated, who'd lied, who'd stolen, who'd destroyed the economy and walked away rich. He'd hated those people, sworn he'd never be like them. And now he was standing here, holding stolen money, becoming exactly what he'd hated. Marcus put the money down, stepped back. This wasn't his. It didn't matter that he needed it. Didn't matter that his mother was suffering. Didn't matter that nobody would know. It wasn't his. He knew, and that mattered. But God, it was hard. He stood there for 10 minutes, just staring, fighting with himself. The rational part of his brain screaming at him to take it, to solve his problems, to help his mother, to stop suffering. The other part, the part that remembered who he used to be, that part was quieter, but stronger. That part won. Marcus walked to the office, found Gerald, the manager. "Sir, there's money left in the private dining room. $10,000. Mr. Harrington must have forgotten it." Gerald looked up, suspicious. "You found $10,000? "Yes, sir. On the table. I didn't touch it. Well, I counted it, to know how much. But it's all there. Thought you should know." Gerald stood, walked to the private dining room, saw the money, picked it up, counted it, looked at Marcus. "You counted this?" "Yes, sir." "And you're telling me you didn't take any?" "No, sir. It's not mine." Gerald studied him, like he was trying to understand, trying to figure out if Marcus was stupid or honest. Most people would have taken this. "I'm not most people." "No, I guess you're not." Gerald pulled out his phone, called someone. "Mr. Harrington? This is Gerald from Marchand. Your busboy found something you left? $10,000? Cash? On the table?" He listened, nodded. "Yes, sir. He brought it to me. Didn't take $1. Listened more. His name is Marcus Rivera. He's worked here 3 years. Good worker. Honest, apparently." Gerald hung up, looked at Marcus differently. "He wants to meet you. Tomorrow, noon, his office. Harrington Tower, 62nd floor. Don't be late." "Why does he want to meet me?" "I don't know. But when a billionaire asks to meet you, you show up." "Yes, sir." Marcus left, walked to the subway, rode home to the Bronx, went to his mother's room. She was asleep, in pain, even in sleep. He sat next to her bed, thought about the choice he'd made, thought about the $8,000 he'd walked away from, thought about whether he'd done the right thing. His mother woke up, saw him. "Mijo, what's wrong?" "Nothing, Mama, just tired." "You worked too hard." "I'm okay." "Did something happen?" He wanted to tell her about the money, about the choice, about the meeting tomorrow, but he didn't. "No, Mama, nothing happened. Go back to sleep." She did. Marcus sat there, wondered what tomorrow would bring, wondered if he'd just made the biggest mistake of his life or the best decision. The next day, Marcus took the subway to Midtown. Harrington Tower, 60 stories, glass, steel, impressive. He'd been here before, 3 years ago, for a meeting, back when he was an analyst, back when he belonged. Now he felt out of place. Wrong. The security guard looked at him. "Can I help you?" "I have a meeting." "Robert Harrington, 62nd floor." The guard checked his list. "Name?" "Marcus Rivera." "You're on the list. Take elevator bank C. Insert this key card. It'll take you straight up." Marcus rode the elevator, 62 floors, fast, smooth. The doors opened to a reception area, expensive, minimalist. A woman at the desk looked up. "Mr. Rivera?" "Yes." "Mr. Harrington is expecting you. This way." She led him through corridors, past offices, conference rooms, people in expensive suits doing important things. They stopped at double doors. She knocked. Opened. "Mr. Rivera, sir." "Send him in." Marcus walked into an office bigger than his apartment, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of Manhattan, Central Park. The whole city spread out like a map. Robert Harrington stood by the window, turned, smiled. "Marcus, thank you for coming." Yes, sir. Please sit. They sat, Harrington in his chair, Marcus on the edge of his seat, nervous, confused. Do you know why I asked you here? No, sir. Last night, the money I left, that was a test. Marcus's stomach dropped. A test? I've been testing people for 20 years. Different amounts, different situations, looking for something specific, someone specific. I leave cash in places where people with need will find it, people who are desperate, struggling. Then I watch what they do. You were watching. Security cameras, ones you don't see. I watch their choice. Most people take the money, 90%. They rationalize it, tell themselves they deserve it, that I won't miss it, that they need it more. They take it. 10% don't. They return it. Those are the people I'm interested in. Why? Because integrity is rare, especially when tested by desperation. Anyone can be honest when they're comfortable, when they have enough. But when you're desperate, when you need that money more than anything, when taking it would solve every problem, that's when character shows. That's when I learn who someone really is. Marcus didn't know what to say. Harrington continued. I know about you, Marcus. I know you work 3 jobs. I know your mother needs surgery. I know you need exactly $8,000. I know that $10,000 would have solved everything. And you walked away. Why? Because it wasn't mine. That's it? That's the only reason? Yes, sir. Most people would have rationalized it, would have said I'm rich. I wouldn't miss it. They needed it more. They'd have taken it and called it justice. Why didn't you? Marcus thought about it, about the real answer. Because I've seen what happens when people compromise, when they cheat, when they lie. I worked on Wall Street. Saw the crash happen because people decided rules didn't apply to them. Decided they could take shortcuts. Decided their needs mattered more than integrity. I watched that destroy the economy, destroy lives, destroy everything. I swore I'd never be like them, never compromise who I am for money, even when I lost everything. Even when I became a busboy, even when I was desperate, I won't become what I hate. Harrington nodded. Quiet. Then, I started as a janitor. 45 years ago, made minimum wage, cleaned offices in this building. Same building I now own. One night, I found a wallet, had $2,000 in it. Cash, credit cards, ID. I needed that money. My mother was sick. Medical bills. I was desperate, just like you. I returned the wallet, gave it to security, thought that was the end, but the owner of the wallet came back, found me, thanked me, asked why I returned it. I told him the truth, that it wasn't mine. He saw something in that, something valuable. He offered me a job, sales position, his company, real opportunity. I took it, worked hard, learned, eventually started my own business. Built this. He gestured at the office. The view. The empire. I've never forgotten that moment. That choice. That man who gave me a chance because I was honest. I've spent 40 years looking for people like that. People with integrity. People I can invest in. People worth building with. You're the first person in 3 years to pass my test. The first person to return the money when they desperately needed it. That tells me everything I need to know about who you are. Marcus didn't understand. Sir, I appreciate the story, but I don't understand why you're telling me this. Because I'm offering you the same thing that man offered me. An opportunity, a chance, a partnership. Partnership. You worked at Goldman, financial analyst. You're smart, educated, talented. You lost your job in the crash, couldn't find another, ended up as a busboy. Not because you're not capable, but because the market collapsed. Because you got unlucky. I've watched your career, checked your background. You were good, really good. You deserved better. How do you know all this? I know everything about the people I test. I research, investigate, learn who they are, what they've done, what they're capable of. You, Marcus, are capable of extraordinary things, but you're stuck. Cleaning tables, Washing dishes? Wasting your potential? I'm offering you a way out. What kind of way out? Come work for me. Real estate investment, analysis, deal structuring. The same skills you used at Goldman, applied to my business. I'll pay you $200,000 to start. Bonuses based on performance, full benefits, and I'll pay for your mother's surgery. Today, all of it. 8,000, 10,000, whatever she needs. Marcus stared. This couldn't be real. Why would you do that? Because I believe in investing in people of character, because integrity is the rarest commodity, because I've made $4 billion and I can't take it with me. But I can use it to help people who deserve help, people who make the right choice even when it costs them everything. That's you, Marcus. You returned $10,000 when you desperately needed $8,000. That's not stupidity, that's character, and character is worth investing in. I don't know what to say. Say yes, take the job, help your mother, build something, use your talents. Stop wasting your life washing dishes. Marcus thought about it, about his mother, about the surgery, about going back to the world he'd lost, about having a career again, about being somebody. What do you get out of this? A partner with integrity? Someone I can trust? Someone who won't steal from me? Won't lie to me? Won't compromise when things get hard? I've had employees steal millions. I've had partners betray me. I've learned that character matters more than skill. You have both. That's rare. That's valuable. That's worth investing in. And if I fail, if I can't do the job, then I'll have made a bad investment, but I don't think I will. I think you're going to be extraordinary. I think you're going to build something remarkable. And in 20 years, maybe you'll do the same thing I'm doing. Find someone with character. Give them a chance. Pay it forward. Marcus felt tears coming. Fought them. My mother? The surgery? You'd really pay for it? I already did. Called the hospital this morning. Gave them my credit card. $8,000. She's scheduled for next week. It's done. I don't understand. What if I'd said no? Then I'd have helped your mother anyway. Because that's what people with resources should do. Help people who need it, especially people who deserve it. You deserve it, Marcus. You made the right choice last night. Let me reward that choice. Let me give you what you've earned, what you've worked for, what you deserve. Marcus couldn't hold the tears anymore. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you. Thank me by being who you are, by keeping your integrity, by building something meaningful. That's all I ask. Marcus started the next Monday, office on the 58th floor, his own desk, computer, view. He worked with Harrington's team, smart people, driven, excellent. He analyzed deals, evaluated properties, structured investments. The same work he'd done at Goldman, but better, more meaningful. Building things instead of just trading. His mother had her surgery that week. Successful. Recovery went well. 2 months later, she was pain-free, moving normally, living again. She cried when Marcus told her about the job, about Harrington, about the test. He gave you a chance because you're honest? Yes, Mama. I'm so proud of you. Not because of the money, because of who you are. Because you did the right thing even when it cost you everything. I learned that from you. You've always been a good boy, even when things were hard, even when you had nothing. You never compromised, never cheated, never lost who you were. That's worth more than any amount of money. She was right. Marcus realized that now. The 3 years as a busboy hadn't been wasted, hadn't been failure. They'd been a test, not Harrington's test, his own test. Could he stay who he was when he lost everything? Could he keep his integrity when desperation screamed at him to compromise? He'd passed, and the reward wasn't just the job, wasn't just the money. It was knowing who he was, knowing he could trust himself, knowing he'd made the right choice even when it cost him everything. That was worth more than any amount of money. 2 years later, Marcus was a partner. Harrington promoted him, gave him equity, made him a stakeholder. They worked together, built deals, acquired properties, made investments. Marcus was good, really good, better than Harrington expected. They made each other better. Marcus brought energy, analysis, fresh perspective. Harrington brought wisdom, experience, network. Together, they were formidable. One day, Harrington called Marcus into his office. "I have a proposition." "What's that?" "I'm getting old, 70 years old. I've been doing this for 45 years. I'm tired, ready to step back, spend time with my grandkids, travel, live. I need someone to take over, someone I trust, someone with character. I want that person to be you." "Sir, I don't know if I'm ready." "You're ready. You've been ready for a year. You're better at this than I was at your age, smarter, more disciplined, more ethical. I trust you completely. That's rare. That's valuable. I want you to run this company. I'll stay on as chairman, advisory role, but you'll be CEO. You'll make the decisions, build the future. Are you interested?" Marcus thought about it. About the busboy who'd found $10,000. About the choice he'd made. About how that choice had led here, to this moment, to this opportunity. "Yes, I'm interested." "Good. We'll announce it next week." "But Marcus, I need you to promise me something." "What's that?" "Promise me you'll do what I did. Find people with character. Test them. Invest in them. Give them chances. Pay it forward. That's how we build a better world. Not by hoarding resources, but by investing in people who deserve them. Will you do that?" "I promise." "Good. Because that's the real test. It's easy to be honest when you have nothing. Harder when you have everything. Don't lose who you are just because you're successful. Stay the person who returned $10,000. Stay the person your mother is proud of. Can you do that?" "Yes, sir. I can." 5 years later, Marcus stood in a restaurant. Different restaurant. Same situation. He'd left $10,000 on a table. Cash, in a private room. A server had found it. Young woman, 23, working 3 jobs, struggling, desperate. He watched the cameras. Watched her stare at the money. Watched her think, calculate, struggle. She picked it up, counted it, put it down, picked it up again, put it down. Finally, she walked to the manager, told him about the money, returned it. Marcus smiled. She'd passed. Tomorrow, he'd call her, offer her a job, an opportunity, a chance, just like Harrington had given him, because that's what people with character do. They pay it forward. They give chances. They invest in people who deserve it. That night, Marcus went home, visited his mother. She was healthy now, happy, living well. "How was work, mijo?" "Good, mama. Really good." "You found someone?" "Yes, a young woman. She returned money she desperately needed, just like I did." "You're doing what Mr. Harrington did for you." "Yes. It feels right. Feels like what I'm supposed to do. I'm proud of you. Not because you're successful, because you're good. Because you use your success to help people. Because you never forgot who you are. That's what matters." She was right. Success without character is empty. Money without integrity is worthless. But when you combine them, when you use your resources to help people who deserve help, when you invest in character, when you pay forward the chances you were given, that's when success means something. That's when money has purpose. That's when life becomes about more than just surviving. It becomes about building, creating, investing in humanity. Marcus had learned that from Harrington, and now he was teaching others. The cycle continued, and the world became a little bit better. Sometimes the most important tests happen when nobody is watching, when you're alone with a choice, when doing the wrong thing would solve all your problems, when nobody would ever know. Those moments define who you are. Not your job, not your salary, not your success, but the choices you make when you think nobody is watching. Marcus returned $10,000 when he desperately needed $8,000. Not because he was stupid, not because he didn't understand what he was giving up, but because he knew who he was. And he wouldn't compromise that for anything. That choice changed his life, not because of the reward, but because it proved to himself that he could trust who he was, that his character was real, that his integrity mattered. And when someone recognized that character, when someone invested in it, when someone gave him a chance because of it, everything changed. If you're facing a choice right now, if you're struggling, if taking the easy way out would solve everything, remember Marcus. Remember that character matters more than convenience, that integrity matters more than immediate relief, that who you are matters more than what you have. Make the right choice, even when it costs you, even when nobody is watching, even when you're desperate, because someone might be watching, and even if they're not, you're watching, and you have to live with yourself. Make sure you can. If this resonated, leave a comment. Subscribe if you believe in character over convenience, in people who do the right thing even when it costs them everything. Those are the people who change the world, one honest choice at a time.